I've been tasked with giving a short talk, 30 minutes, on diversification for architects and quantity surveyors. Diversification for architects and quantity surveyors. I will try and just give very general principles, then hopefully we can pick from there, because I don't think in half an hour I'm able to give you everything that is required, but I'm hoping to tickle your imagination, and then from there you can now diversify in the way you want. So my first thing was a question to the architects and QSs. How many of you have been in a room, you're chairing a site meeting, and you feel I'm the most intelligent person in this room because my client doesn't quite get it, the plumber is not quite up to par, I don't know if any of you has ever felt like that. Yeah? That's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing, because you should be the dumbest person in the room. So if every place you go, you're the sharpest, you lose whether you're in the right room. Now, more interesting, have you been in the room, you feel you're the sharpest guy in the room and the most broke? Yeah? Where the plumber gets paid more than you do, the lawyer comes and just does a few clerical jobs, gets paid 2% of selling price. You, the architect, have negotiated for 1.7% of construction cost. I don't know if you've ever felt like that. Yeah? And those are the things that should lead one to think and want to diversify. I've tried to keep my quotations to very few, and also by architects. So Le Corbusier said, revolutions don't come by revolutionizing things. Real revolution lies in the solution of existing problems. Existing problems. So ladies and gentlemen, I know we are professionals. We are architects, we are quantity surveyors, we come from the noble professions, but people don't care about that. People care about their problems, and the solutions is not solutions to your problems. Nobody cares about that. It's solution to other people's problems, and I think we will deal with that quite a bit today. So the question you want to ask yourself, what problem are you solving? It's not about how good you are. It's not about how talented you are. It's not about how many degrees you have, or how highly you are esteemed by this very noble profession. It is what problems are you solving in society? Problems you're solving for people who don't have the education that you do. So, I'm an architect, and I love architecture. I mean, I was introduced to it in 1991. I love to draw since I was a kid. In the 70s, I was always drawing and always being beaten by my mother, because instead of writing notes, I'm drawing the teacher. Instead of writing the notes that the teacher is dictating. I wanted to be a doctor, but biology just didn't make sense to me in Form 1. So in second form, a friend of mine told me, why don't you try architecture? You can be self-employed, you can draw, you bring math and science and art and put them together. I was like, damn, this is the thing. So I literally fell in love with it. So I went to school, I worked really hard. I think I was one of the good ones. I got, respect of my peers. Then I finished, and I was really struggling. And after practicing for about 10 years, I asked myself, does any man wake up his wife at 2 a.m. and tell her, baby, if we had more architecture in our lives would be better? Eh? Does any wife wake up her husband? Imagine just some random woman in Kibera or in Lavington. She wakes up her husband, hey, mzee, if we had more quantity surveying in our lives would be so much better. That was my Damascus moment. I had to think, am I solving the right problem? Do people have architectural problems? I don't know if you have relatives. Your aunties, your uncles, your cousins, your nephews, they say, wow, ningekuwa na architecture more, I would be better. I think people have money problems, they have relationship problems, they have health problems, they have other issues that occupy their minds. So I think my thesis here last time I was here is that architecture, quantity surveying, your professional training is a great weapon, but it's not the destination. It's like a knife in a surgeon's hand. You can use it to solve real-world problems. Don't look at it as an end unto itself. I don't know if that makes sense. Because a doctor with a scalpel, his job is not to go and cut people up. It is to solve real problems. So how can we use the knowledge we have to solve real problems? Remember, you're in the room, you're the person who helped to look for the land, you're the person who helped to look for the capital, you're the one who came up with the designs, you're the ones who costed the designs, you're the one who's looking for the contractors, you do everything, then some other bagger gets paid. A bit discouraging. Me, that's what I went through. I was a sharp architect, but I was not making headway. That's why I had this Damascus moment. And when you get there, like Paul of the Bible, you have to step down from your high position, from being architect almighty, QS almighty, and come down to the ground level, where the people are. Then you can begin to address people. So the building on the left, that's the kind of work I was doing in my early, mid-30s. So I was doing fairly well architectural-wise. I think you know this building, somewhere near Yaya. We created it, we built it, went through a lot of abuse and insults from the client. One day I told him, Chief, the amount of fees you pay me does not compare with what I've done for you. I've put for you a landmark in this city. There's nothing you can pay me. I've added more value to you, and I quit. I decided I've had it. So I moved from doing a grade A building on 1 acre in Kilimani to doing like a small, tiny building on 1/8 of an acre in Embakasi. Are you seeing how you need to move? Man, I made more money on the small building than on the big building. The big building took me 7 years. 7 years designing, negotiating, having board meetings, being made to wait in somebody's office from 9 a.m. to 12:30. Tunangojea chairman akuje. You drink tea, unakula mandazi, unaenda bathroom, unakuja, unapewa maji, bwana. 6 years of university. I don't know if was I alone in that thing? So I said, this guy called the client. Sometimes you have to be very radical. This guy called the client needs to get out of my cycle. And I remember I used to pray for clients. Remember to say, I used to really pray to get clients. But I realized that guy is the enemy. So I got the client out of the way, became my own client, built a little building that was more satisfying. It met more needs. Because at the beginning, when I was doing these big buildings, I had like 6, 7 clients. With this only one thing, I had about 50 investors and 100 tenants. Are you seeing? I now had 150 clients instead of having 5 or 6. I don't know if that makes sense. So what problem are you solving? Are you willing to get out from that place to go to the ground? And I'm not saying we all get into real estate, but there's this thing that you can do. So I'll quickly take you maybe 5 minutes, what we do. I'm assuming some of us know what we do. So I run a company called Savo. So that's where I moved now from my consultancy to my own company called Savo. So we exist to enable investors achieve financial independence through affordable, amazing apartments. Why is that important? We thought everybody has money problems. Everybody is thinking about financial security. Whether you are rich, poor, young, old, employed, self-employed, unemployed, it doesn't matter. Everybody's thinking about that. So he said, that's our thing. And it's not a marketing tagline. It is a real purpose to which we commit ourselves. And then I'm a good architect. So that means I can design apartments. The easiest things to design. You design one, then you multiply it this way, and then you multiply it that way. Hey, buona. Easiest thing in the world. A residential house is a difficult thing. An apartment. Where come you? Na squeeze na computer. Control you. Everything is around that one purpose. So what's your purpose? What problem are you solving? We have done, just wanted to take you through a few numbers of the things that we have achieved. But first, before you do that, first get the right partner. Don't work with the wrong partner. I was lucky. Me, I work with a hot chick. You can see her. I work with a hot mama. That's my partner. And she's my wife. Yeah? So, kwa wale ambao mlienda university, mkutana na mabibi, sijui mlienda kufanya nini huko. Sisi tulipoingia the first day tukaambiwa, this university is, if marriages are made in heaven, the university is a branch office. I took that literally, nikapita naye. So my wife is an economist, she's a CPA, and she's CFA. So she understands money, I understand mjengo. We go together and started this thing, yeah? And together we've been very fortunate. We have created a community of surveyors that right now number 8,500. 8,500 people that we are directly employing, impacting. Either they earn money from us every month or they pay us money every month. That's a big commitment. You're either earning from me every month or I'm paying you every month. That's a lot. And these guys, we have about 160 in the office. These are young professionals. So architects, I can see some of them are here. Architects, quantity surveyors, engineers. Oh no, we don't have engineers. Finance people, sales people. We have 1,300 people on site. This is the number that touches me most. This, can you imagine mtu wa mjengo has had a job for 3 years, 4 years. Every week they draw a wage. Yeah? And when the children finish class 8, we pay for them, because we pay them little, so we can't transform them. And the whole thing is about financial independence. So we pay school fees for their children. Yeah, so that's big impact for these guys. So those who build, those who maintain our buildings, 1,300 of them. We have about 4,000 investors, people who are working, and every month from their savings, from their salary, they give you something. That's a huge responsibility. Now, if you're going to diversify and get into something, please know, it's not about you. It's about the responsibility you carry to take the dreams and aspirations of other people, not yourself. We have about 3,000 residents. So you can imagine, we are already one of the biggest property managers. We didn't even set out to do that. Now, that's the beauty. If you diversify onto something and it is impactful, you begin to get on other professions. I wanted to become a developer. I didn't know I have to start a selling company, a property management company, a construction company, a manufacturing company to make the products that build our units. So you begin to diversify into different things. We are now getting into counseling for these young people. You know them. Some of us are parents, and some of you are these ones. Mental health. Now we are building churches on top to become areas of impact for these guys. So once you diversify for the right reason and to a place, the right place, your impact begins to it grows. I went to Starehe, and I've seen what an education can do to children. So one of my biggest pet projects is this one, where we impact young people and we pay them for them school fees. Right now we have 350 young people, students in high school that we are paying for school fees. And these ones are national schools. So that's, ukipata kapesa kidogo, usikule, saidia wengine. Yeah. Very quickly again, we have done 21 projects, 12 are complete. 9 are ongoing, with about 9,000 units sold. And those are some of those. Okay. So these are some of those projects that that we have done. I think if you want to see more, just go to savo.ke. This one is just behind here in Resambo. So this is the royal city. We are building it, Pole Pole. It's going to dominate the whole skyline of Resambo. And when you diversify, deliver what you promised. Remember, your clients don't tell you what to do. They don't tell you how much to charge. They don't tell you anything. They just ask you to deliver exactly as you promised. So that's very important. Yeah. So what do you need to do in this diversification? Most of us want to go up there, the place written what? You're thinking about your profession, your proficiency, profits, the product you need to do, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. I think for you to diversify, you need to go a bit lower into the why. Why is it necessary for you to diversify? So what problem are you solving? What philosophy have you created around yourself? We have a philosophy in Savo, we call it Savoism. It's almost like religion. You know, Chairman Mao had his red book, That one. Hata Nyayo alikuwa na Nyayo philosophy of peace, love, and unity. You must have a philosophy that you create. You must have a purpose. Why are you doing what you're doing? You must have values. What is guiding us? What is our North Star? And how do we get there? So it's not just about your skills. It's not just about the product. It is why you're doing what you want to do. And this is the crux of my inspiration today, because I don't have much time. But below that, for you to make the right philosophy, you must understand the unchanging principles, what I call the logos. The things, the mind of God, literally. What are these things that are irrefutable? The things that you cannot negotiate. And how do you understand them? It is the understanding of these things that help you to make the right philosophy. And it is that philosophy that help you to do the right product. I don't know if that's making sense. Yeah? So what are these things? General principles. Principles, spend less than you earn. Chances are that will make you rich. Not guaranteed. There are no guarantees in life. But that's a general principle that works. Psychology. How do people think? Business is about psychology. It's not about anything else. Can you imagine M-Pesa? You guys remember when M-Pesa first came? You press buttons and somehow some guy, your mother is supposed to get that money, and there is Mwakio and Onyango in between, hawataiba. But look at this now, tumeelewa. We were told you had peculiar minds, But now we are all okay. How do you understand biology? If you're going to do housing, if you're going to do transport, those are things that don't change. How do you understand money? Let me tell you something about money. If you're going to diversify, money does not flow downwards. Money flows upwards. And we're given the wrong education. We're told, fanya kazi, soma vizuri, utapata kazi, utalipo mshahara. Nobody became successful kwa kulipa mshahara. Imagine you're earning $1 million bob. You're earning $1 million bob a month. How long will it take you to make $1 billion? If you're saving it every month, 84 years. If you're not spending it, all of it is being put somewhere, 84 years. So understand money, understand mathematics, understand philosophy, so vitu kama hizo. As I finish, when you diversify, don't improve on your industry. Don't make minor adjustments. Take it and shake it. And there's a very simple thing. Eliminate what everybody takes for granted. We eliminated the client. Can you imagine that? We eliminated the client, we eliminated fees. So you have to be bold. If you're a bank teller, you can't create M-Pesa. And yet M-Pesa is the biggest bank in East and Central Africa. You understand? If you have the mind of a taxi driver, you can't create Uber. If you have the mind of a hotel worker, you can't create Airbnb. Uber, biggest transport company, they eliminated ownership of vehicles. Are you seeing that? So what are you eliminating? Before you reduce, raise, and create, you must eliminate. My last one. When you diversify, do something you're passionate about. Something you can do for free. Because the journey is not easy. It's a difficult journey. Yeah? Do something that you're very good at. That you could be the best at in the world. It was sad when after dedicating over 20 years of my life to architecture, I realized I can't be the best architect in the world. So what is it that I can be the best at? So you have to ask yourself, and many times that thing is not what you're trained in. What you're trained in can be a tool, but not the destination. Finally, you must understand the profits. You must understand how you will make money and how you can lose money. It's not about dreaming, it's about understanding. How will you make money? How will you lose money? Now, if you're passionate and you're good and you're not making money, that one we call a hobby. I don't think we want to get into hobbies, isn't it? If you're good at it and you're making money and you're not passionate about it, that will just give you stress. If you're good at it, if you're passionate about it and you're making money and you're not good at it, that's an illusion. It will not happen. So you must be good at it, you must be passionate about it, and you must know how the money works. Can you allow me to read a poem as I finish? It is a poem. Moshe Safdie, a great architect, the guy of Habitat 67. He says, he who seeks truth shall find beauty. So seek truth. He who seeks beauty shall find vanity. So if you diversify for yourself, hakuna mali unaenda. He who seeks order shall find gratification. He who seeks gratification shall be disappointed. He who considered himself a servant of his fellow being, that is the thing, a servant of his fellow being, shall find the joy of self-expression. Am I talking to architects? He who seeks self-expression shall fall into the pit of arrogance. It's not about you. Arrogance is incompatible with nature. Through the nature of the universe and the nature of man, we shall seek truth. If we seek truth, we shall find beauty.